Welcome everybody. This is Introduction to Linguistics, Phonology chapter. Today we are going to talk about how sounds pattern together and how they are perceived by people. First, we are going to talk about minimal pairs. Which sounds in a language are perceived differently or are important in meaning or they change meaning. Look at these pairs, sip and ship, hit and hood. What is the difference between the first pair, sip and ship? Just the initial sound, which is S here and sh in the second one. So they are different sounds. So they are different phonemes because they change the meaning if you replace them, if you exchange them. Look at the second pair, hit and hood. The difference is in the vowel, hit, e and u. So if you replace them, meaning will, of course will change. So this is called a minimal pair. If these sounds do not change the meaning and they occur in the same way in minimal pairs, but they do not change the meaning, so they are called in complementary distribution. Let's explain more. Sound variants that occur systematically. Notice nasalized vowels and oral vowels. Vowels, of course, are oral, but when they occur before nasal consonants, they are called nasalized because air escapes through the nasal cavity. Look at this word, end. It begins with a sound. Notice it occurs before the nasal sound end, sound. So it is called nasalized end. Look at the second word, ipt. Next word, ipt. This is oral, so it does not. They are not different phonemes. They are called to be in complementary distribution. The same phenomena here. Stand, stabbed. Here, sound is nasalized because it occurs here before n sound. But here, a sound occurs before b sound. Is oral. If we exchange the nasalized vowel with the oral vowel, meaning will not change. So they are not phonemes in English, different phonemes in English. They are called in complementary distribution. Notice nasalized vowels and oral vowels articulated differently, but they are not received differently. They do not show difference in meaning. If we replace them, they are in complementary distribution. In case we have different variants of the phoneme, they are called allophones. For example, a sound as a phoneme, this one as a phoneme, it has two forms or two variants. One of them is nasalized, this one, before nasal environment. It occurs before nasal. So it is called nasalized vowel. And the second version is oral A. So A as a phoneme has two versions. One of them is nasalized, the second one is oral. They are called allophones, not phonemes. The same here. Look at this phoneme, a sound, a phoneme. It has two versions, nasalized a and oral a. Of course, nasalized means before they occur before nasals. So these are called allophones. They are called different allophones, not different phonemes. To determine the phonemic status of two sounds, we have to ask ourselves, are the sounds in complementary distribution? If yes, it means we have to ask, are the sounds phonetically similar? If yes, they are allophones of the same phoneme. If no, they belong to different phonemes. If they are not in complementary distribution, we ask ourselves, does substituting one sound for the other change meaning? In case yes, they belong to two different phonemes. But if no, they are in free variation. Okay, again, so sounds, if we substitute these sounds and change meaning, they are different phonemes. If they do not change meaning, they are in free variation. Okay? Are sounds phonetically similar? If yes, it means they are allophones, such as nasalized vowels. And we can take another example. Here, before we take the second example, look at the difference between sound, phoneme, and allophone. The sound is what is heard and interpreted by the brain as a phoneme. In our brain, it is a phoneme. And we hear by our ear, we hear what? We hear the sound. So if we have more than one version, they are called allophones. So regular version and nasalized versions, here in the case of the last example, are called, or they are allophones. The second example is aspirated sounds, or aspiration means a puff of air is produced when you produced with the sound. Look at these words. K sound, cup. The second word, bucket. The third word, scotch. Here we notice that in the first word it is k. We have some puff of air produced with the sound k, velar k. Okay, we notice that this phoneme k has two versions. One is called aspirated, with a puff of air produced with the sound. And the environment, we notice that it occurs at the beginning of a straight syllable. Here, cup, because it is stressed at the beginning. But here, it is not the beginning. Here, and the third word, k is not in the initial position, not in the beginning. So we have k sound as aspirated. This is version, and the second version, which is non-aspirated, and they are called allophones. Different, they are called allophones. This is the phoneme, and these are different allophones, not phonemes. In Khmer, this is Cambodian language, we have the same k aspirated and non-aspirated k sound. In Khmer or Cambodian language, k sound and aspirated k sound, they are different because they change the meaning. Here, cat, without aspiration, it means to cut in this Cambodian language. And with aspiration, it means to polish. So they are different phonemes here. K and aspirated k are different phonemes in Cambodian. They are not allophones as in English. So we have to notice the difference. So phonemes are language specific. They differ according to languages. Another example for allophones, voiceless l sound after voiceless stop. You know L sound, L sound, slip, play, fly, blight, clip. Here we notice that in the second one, fly, fly, fly. Here it is voiceless L. It occurs after B sound. And here it is normal voiced. And the fourth one, it is after K, voiceless, and it is voiceless L. So here we have two versions of L sound. One of them is without, one of them is voiced. It occurs after S here in the first word and B sound in the third word. Here, voiceless L occurs after P and K. Notice that P and K are voiceless. Okay, so this is the environment. So these are L sound and voiced and voiceless L are different allophones. They are not, or they are allophones of the phoneme L. Thank you for your listening.